I'm Herb London, president of the Hudson Institute. There is no question that the occurring in the Middle East, the roiling of governments, is having a profound effect on the development of American foreign policy. The evolution of foreign policy, particularly in events that occurred in Egypt, is rather interesting to try and understand. One of the reasons why it's been so complicated for our government, and one of the reasons why the American government has been, I think, inconsistent in the position it's taken, is in large part because the revolution itself is several revolutions. It includes the American Revolution, the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, and the Iranian Revolution. Let me explain. There are many secular people in Egypt who would like to see real liberty, real democracy. These people believe in the American Revolution. They are motivated by the same sort of spirit that accompanied the American Revolution and those who were responsible for the introduction of democracy in our society. There are those who, of course, are associated with the Muslim Brotherhood. They see the world very differently. They are thinking of a theological revolution, a revolution that would bring about great change in the society, but change not unlike what happened in Iran in 1979. And then there's a third group, and these are largely people who are on the streets. They enjoy the excitement. They are very much involved in breaking down some of the barriers and norms in the society. You might even say they're thugs who have invaded and taken over some of the stores and have destroyed some of the artifacts in the museums. These are part of what I would describe as the French Revolution, who used the guillotine in an irresponsible manner. And then, of course, there is the Russian Revolution, where you had many minority groups who believed that they were the majority. And you have many groups in Egypt, not merely the Muslim Brotherhood, who are claiming that they are minority groups that represent the will of the majority. And that is in part why it's very difficult to see how this all unfolds. The military can maintain control, but which of the groups, which of the revolutionary groups, emerges as the leadership? Will it be the Muslim Brotherhood, which represents something in the order of a quarter of the population? Or will it be those secular groups that by and large want to embrace the American Revolution? It is not easy to determine at this time. But the one thing that is important is that the United States has a stake in what happens in Egypt. And there are people all across the globe who are watching Egypt as well. The Chinese are saying, do we have to increase or accelerate the reforms in our society because we may be facing a revolution of this kind? And clearly in the Arab world, there are many leaders who are saying, are we in the position we're going to have to accelerate our reform measures in an effort to forestall the kind of activity we've seen in Egypt? Even Gaddafi has been asking many questions about the future of Libya, a relatively small country, but a country that could conceivably be facing a similar kind of revolution. So the world is changing dramatically. Where the United States stands on the position taken by Foggy Bottom is obviously critical. Will the United States play a role recognizing our interests and our principles at the same time? It is very, very difficult to see what role this administration is taking because they are confused. And as I've indicated, to some degree, that is understandable. So the future, I think, the jury remains out on the future, but that future is one that will have a direct bearing on the role that the United States will be playing in world affairs.